Imagine living in a town where going to the grocery store, dropping your kids off at high school, or even disposing of your trash requires you to pack your passport and drive through international border checkpoints. Twice. Welcome to Point Roberts, a tiny piece of land that is legally part of Washington State in the United States, but sits squarely at the bottom of a Canadian peninsula. It is one of the most frustratingly inconvenient places to live on Earth, and it exists entirely because a group of British and American politicians in 1846 were too lazy to look at a detailed local map. The story starts with the Oregon Treaty of 1846. The United States and Great Britain were trying to settle a massive territorial dispute in the Pacific Northwest. Instead of arguing over every hill, valley, and river, they decided to make things easy. They grabbed a ruler and agreed that the border between U.S. territory and British North America, modern-day Canada, would simply be a straight line, running along the 49th parallel north all the way to the Pacific Ocean. It was a clean, simple solution on a massive global map, but when you zoom into the coast, that straight line slices right across the very tip of a small peninsula jutting down from Vancouver. The politicians realized their mistake shortly after. The British pointed out that the tiny tip of the peninsula, measuring just under 5 square miles, would be completely cut off from the rest of the United States by water. They asked the US to just let them keep it for the sake of logic, but the American government refused, insisting that a deal was a deal.
I'll make that deal. How about you, bitch? You make that deal?
I'd make that deal.
I don't blame you. Damn good deal.
So, the border monument was placed right on the land dividing the peninsula. If you stand on the north side of the street, you are in a bustling Canadian suburb of Vancouver. If you cross the street to the south, you are in an isolated American exclave. This joke of geography became a stark reality during recent global events. When the US-Canada border closed to non-essential travel for over a year, the residents of Point Roberts were suddenly trapped. They couldn't drive to their own mainland to buy supplies without complex medical clearances, and their local economy, which relied entirely on Canadians driving across the border to buy cheaper American gas and milk, completely collapsed. Today, it remains a bizarre security haven. It has one of the lowest crime rates in America, mostly because escaping the town after a crime requires waiting in a line at a Canadian customs booth. It's crazy how a single stroke of a pen 180 years ago can dictate the daily lives of hundreds of people today. If you could live in a geographic anomaly like Point Roberts, would you do it for the isolation, or would the border checks drive you insane? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We track down the world's strangest hidden corners every single week, so make sure to subscribe and ring that bell to stay on the map. See you next time.